1C Entertainment is a publisher I've really grown to appreciate. They released one of my favorite gems, Necrovision, and then years later released Dread Templar, while their most recent release is a game called Forgive Me Father. It was published by 1C Entertainment, and the developer is Bite Barrel? Never heard of them before. Hold on, let me look them up. Wait, Mythbusters? And apparently Mythbusters is similar to BeamNG and Boneworks. Okay, Steam. Hey everyone, Jarek here. The reason I've appreciated 1C Entertainment is because, well, none of their games have been my favorite games of all time. They've all been drastically different from anything else I played, and Forgive Me Father is no exception. 1C Entertainment was also nice enough to just chuck a bunch of keys at me, so I'm going to be giving away this game. If you want to enter this giveaway, all you have to do is like, subscribe, and then I'm going to make this a little more interesting. The first person that can guess my 2 favorite Pokemon get this key. I played since Gen 1 and I still play it today, so you have a bajillion Pokemon to choose from. Don't think too much, there's not really a curveball here. They're both pretty predictable Pokemon. And before we get on with this video, I need to thank today's sponsor. Today's sponsor is NordVPN. At this point, we know the security advantages of a VPN. It'll block malware-ridden websites, secure browser traffic without affecting latency, it's under a next-generation encryption, and most importantly, if you're a streamer, block DDoS attacks. But what else can NordVPN do for you if you just want to play video games? Well, gaming in the online space can be great, but it presents some problems occasionally. What if you want to buy a game, but it's been censored in your country? What if you want to gift your friend a game, but you live in Canada and he lives in the US and Steam is just straight up not letting you? What if you live in North America, but you want to play with your friends over in Europe, but they're on a region-restricted server? Or what if another country is having a current sale, but you don't live in that country? Well, that's no problem. You can just change your location according to the internet by using NordVPN. There's over 5,100 servers in 60 different countries. If you want to try NordVPN for yourself, click that link down below in the video information or go to nordvpn.com/Jarek to get a 2-year deal plus 1 month free, a 73% discount. Alternatively, you can just use my code Jarek at checkout. Once again, a huge thanks goes to NordVPN. I really like their service, and it's something that just sort of benefits everyone involved. But okay, back to the video. Forgive Me Father is an interesting looking game. Graphically, it reminds me of Call of Juarez Gunslinger. It sort of has that comic book style look to it, even if most things in the game are 3D models. There's also plenty of options. This is a great PC port. Every option you would expect to have is in the game. Yes, since I know you're about to ask, this includes an FOV slider. This game even has DLSS, which is not what I expected at all. Typically, you only see DLSS in games trying to look as realistic as possible. This game is not exactly very graphically intensive, but I mean, hey, I'll take some DLSS, sure. I personally love DLSS as it replaces anti-aliasing and generally makes things look a little bit smoother. Although I do have one complaint about this game, and that's that it does the Call of Juarez Gunslinger thing where it has this weird sort of comic book page ripped border on the edges. I hate this. In Gunslinger, I can just mod this out, but since this game is brand new, I'm unsure if I can even do that, and there's no option in the game to get rid of this. I really would have preferred if they gave me an option to get rid of it. I don't want to be playing a game with black bars on the top and bottom the whole time. Like, I know this is an aesthetic choice, but for a video game, I don't like it. But that is my only complaint. Like, this game looks really stylish. And maybe if we complain loud enough, they'll add in an option to remove that. But yeah, graphically, 2 thumbs up. Lots of different environments, lots of blood, lots of gore, lots of detail. It looks good. Story-wise, the game doesn't hold up quite as well, mostly because it's in early access, so I'm sure it's not fully implemented. And by that I mean there's not really much to follow. Yes, there does seem to be some environmental storytelling, but this doesn't really tell a coherent story. Pretty much the only story in this early access state is that there is an evil cult taking over the city, and you are playing as a priest that needs to kill evil. Yeah, that's pretty much it. There's not even like a main antagonist or anything. That's just all you're really getting. And so we move swiftly onto the gameplay, which holds up a lot better. Despite the looks, Forgive Me Father is not just another boomer shooter. It feels quite a bit different, kind of. You see, it's in a weird state where it's not really a boomer shooter, but it's also not slower paced like a Half-Life style game. It's somewhere in the middle, and I'll talk a little bit more about this in a moment. For now, what I need to say is that the game is very interesting in its enemy designs. I was a little worried at first because I was fighting pretty much just zombies, although these can still definitely catch you off guard. Hell, there's even a zombie that carries an extra head, and once you shoot their head off, they just put the other one on. Soon enough, you're going to be fighting these odd soldiers. Thankfully, they're not hit scam, and if you get a headshot on them, well, their head pops out into whatever this is and they attack you. This is what I meant by the enemies are quite interesting. They generally all have this little twist to them, that or they just have a really weird design to begin with. The best thing about the enemies is that they change depending on the environment. In the early half of the game, you're going to be in a big city, meaning you're going to be fighting mostly zombies. But eventually you'll end up going to a swamp and enemies will start popping out of the water at you. Or how about this guy? Seems to be some sort of a fisherman. He throws fish at you after all. But the fish blow up. The enemies are visually striking, but all have some sort of gimmick to them. As for the weapons, as of right now, you have a pistol, which serves as a pseudo-sniper at the beginning of the game. You'll be wanting to use this thing to pop out headshots against the zombies. You get a double-barrel shotgun real early on. This thing is an incredible powerhouse. You get a Thompson, which is pretty inaccurate and is mostly just for spray and pray. You get an MP18, which is weird. You already have an SMG. Why would you get a worse SMG? Wait, this one's 3-round burst and a lot more accurate. Why is this an MP18? Like, don't get me wrong, the gun works fine. It's just really weird that they chose an MP18 to serve this role. And the last gun you get will be a harpoon launcher. And this really does serve as a sniper. It's incredibly strong and can one-shot most enemies in the game. But to say there's only 6 weapons in the game is a little misleading, thanks to the upgrade tree. If you press tab, this stuff pops up, and there is a lot you can upgrade. These upgrades for a lot of the weapons have branching paths. Be careful before you choose, because once you choose, you can't choose the other path. And a lot of these upgrades will just straight up change your gun. For example, if I upgrade this revolver, it turns into an automatic C96. That's how guns work, I'm sure. The other upgrade for the pistol would have been dual wielding. This is a lot less accurate and more spammy. I didn't get this, so I don't have any footage of it. But what I did get is the C96, which stays accurate and is fully automatic, so seemed like it was pretty logical. Especially since one of the upgrades for the MP18 turns it into a grenade launcher, so it no longer fires bullets and uses totally different ammo. Since the base pistol and base MP18 shares ammo, the C96 now use that role for me. So there is a bit of play with the upgrades and the weapons. You can change your loadout quite a bit. I do like how even if you just upgrade the gun itself, it makes the gun look different. I upgraded the Thompson to more or less be the same thing, except for now it's more accurate and does more damage, and it's still visually changed, which again, I do like. The most interesting upgrade I got though was definitely the shotgun. Yeah, I don't know what's going on here. It's pretty disgusting and I kind of love it. There are, of course, other upgrades you can get, like being able to carry more ammo, or another one which I would recommend you get immediately, just straight up gives you more experience when you kill enemies. There are also upgrades for the skills you get. The skills are, one lets you regenerate health, another lets you stun enemies, one makes you invincible, and another gives you infinite ammo for a short duration of time. The upgrades are basically what you would expect for these skills, basically just have them last longer. To be honest, I wasn't really thrilled with these skills. There was none of them that just kind of did a ton of damage. They were all like passive upgrades. Like invincibility is useful and so is having infinite ammo, but it doesn't last for very long. And also I would like to do something that just like kills everything around me, or just something that deals damage, especially since animations are a little awkward. You can't cancel animations in this game, and I don't mean that in a sense of I want there to be quick switching like in Doom or something. What I mean is that there is a very long time after you're done reloading the shotgun before you can do anything. It also doesn't buffer your input, so if you try to swap weapons at the end of the animation, nothing happens. There's quite a few things in this game that work like this. It feels a little bit clunky. I know they weren't going for the complete boomer shooter package, but I do think this needs to be worked on a little bit. There's also no quick saving, which doesn't really bother me. I think the saves are implemented fine in this game. This guy is going to become your best friend. Yeah, basically you find this dude and that's where you can save. He seems to be everywhere, so it's never really a problem. But there is one more mechanic I have to talk about, and that is that you can go mad. There's this meter in the bottom right. This is your madness meter. The more you kill enemies in a fast succession, the more damage you will do. This is very useful and allows you to approach combat in different ways. For example, I would go into combat with one of my more accurate weapons, pop headshots until the madness meter was up, and then I would pull out my Thompson and gun everyone down. This madness meter is also how you charge your skills and give you skill points to upgrade. There's also 2 bosses, one of which was very unique. The second boss was interesting, but I don't think as good as the first one. And yeah, that's currently everything in the game. So as I said earlier, the pacing of this game is a little odd. It's in between a boomer shooter and a Half-Life style game. It works, but honestly, I kind of would have preferred it if they tried to go the full, slower, more immersive route. Dare I say it, I would have preferred it if they went full-on Doom 3. The game already has some horror vibes to it, it already can be claustrophobic. It doesn't make you feel like a god, it definitely makes you feel like the enemies have the upper hand. I'm gonna sound like a heretic here, I definitely would not have minded being a little bit slower and even having reloading and aim down sights. Before you lynch me, the aim down sights is mainly for being more accurate with the pistol, getting headshots at range and stuff like that, because you're already doing these things in this game. The last thing is that I was told this game was going to be around 4 hours long, and it only took me about 2. That all said, again, this game is in early access, it's not a full price game, and I think it's interesting enough to warrant trying out. I was definitely more interested and perplexed at times by some of the enemy designs and just some of the things in this game than I have been for other games in a long time. Overall, I'm liking what I'm seeing, and I want to see where this game goes as it gets out of early access. As for now, that's all I have to say. I want to give a big thanks to everyone that joined me over on Twitch. My Twitch is twitch.tv/JarekTheGamingDragon. If you subscribe, you get to see my videos ahead of time. Also, thanks to NordVPN for sponsoring this video. Go ahead and check out nordvpn.com/Jarek to get your deal. And of course, a big thanks goes to you for watching this video.